Hi everyone. In today's class, we are going to study about the next stages in the design of direct linking loader. That is specification of databases and format of databases. As you can see in the diagram, direct linking loader scheme requires two passes. In the first pass, the input to the first pass is your object deck, that is the output from the assembler. And object deck is the combination of ESD card, text card, RLD card and end card. In the first pass, it allocates and assigns storage locations to all segments and it stores the value of all external symbols in a symbol table. Each object deck will be containing a set of segments. In the pass 1, it will assign locations for or addresses for each segments. Then when we are passing through each segment, if it contains any external symbol, the external symbol along with the name and its corresponding absolute address value will be stored in the external symbol. So each time whenever external symbol is encountered, it will assign the absolute address value to that symbol and it will be stored into the external symbol table. So external symbol is nothing but the symbols which are defined in the ESD card of the corresponding segment with type either SD or LD. Then it will be given to the pass 2. So a copy of the object deck will be given as input to the pass 2 and also the external symbol table. Loader, in the pass 2 of the loader, it will load our segments to the assigned locations specified in the pass 1. That is the main task performing by the pass 2. That means in the pass 1, we have assigned the locations to each segment. In the pass 2, it will load the object program into the assigned locations. Okay. Then it will perform the relocation. If our segments or programs contains any address constants, we have to modify the value of those address constants for relocation or linking. This is the overview of two-pass direct linking loader scheme. Now we are moving on to the specification of databases in both pass 1 and pass 2. As you saw in the diagram, first we will be talking about pass 1. What is the main task of pass 1? Assign locations to each segment in your object program and store all external symbols, names and its corresponding absolute address value. Absolute address is the real core address value to the external symbol table. At the time, as I mentioned in the previous few videos, the absolute address will only come to know at the time of the loading. So in the pass 1, it will be storing the external symbol name along with the absolute address. Now we'll start with the pass 1 databases. The input to the pass 1 is object dex. Object dex is containing 4 cards: external symbol dictionary card, that is ESD card, text card, RLD card, and RLD card means relocation and linkage directory card, and end card. Then we know that always when we are storing the programs into the main memory, we wish to minimize the amount of core storage, the amount of memory we are using for our program, right? Always we wish to use less amount of memory for our program. Okay, so for achieving this, always when we are loading a new segment, it will be loaded into the next available memory immediately after your preceding segment. Immediately after the preceding segment. What that means what? Whenever we are loading each segment into the memory, it will be loaded into the next available memory immediately after the preceding segment. So always loader must know what is the initial loading address of the first segment in your object program. In your object program, there will be set of segments. What is the first segment to be loaded and what is the initial load address of the first segment? That is given by initial program load address. So IPLA is supplied by the programmer or operating system that specifies the address to load the first segment. Usually IPLA value is providing by the operating system. In some cases it will be providing by the programmer also. Then the next one is a counter, that is the program load address counter. As I mentioned now, we will be having many segments in our object program. So we must know what is the loading address for each segment. So in order to keep track of each segment's assigned location, we are using a counter, that is program load address counter. So it will tell what is the loading address of the each segment. Then we have the database, that is the global external symbol table. It is used to store each external symbol and its corresponding assigned core address. That means what all, for each segment there will be a corresponding ESD card, right? So what all symbols we have specified as a type SD or LD in the ESD card of that particular segment, whenever we are finding these or whenever we are encountering these type of symbols, we will be, or the loader pass 1 will be assigning the absolute core address for these symbols. At the same time, the symbol along with the absolute core address will be stored into a database that is called global external symbol table. So it is used to store the external symbols defined by means of a segment definition or local definition entry on an ESD card. When these symbols are encountered during pass 1, they are assigned an absolute core address, and this address is stored along with the symbol name in the GEST, that is global external symbol table. Then next, a copy of the input to be used later by pass 2. So we will be writing a copy of this input object, it will be using by the pass 2 also. Then a printed listing to specify each external symbol and its assigned value. Whenever we encounter external symbol, we will be printing the external symbol along with its absolute address value. That is about the pass 1. Now we are moving on to the pass 2 databases. Again, one of the input to the pass 2 is a copy of object program or object deck and initial program load address. The same IPLA what we have used in pass 1, it will tell what is the loading address of the first segment. Then program load address counter. Program load address counter is using to keep track of all the segments assigned locations. Then same the external symbol table what we have used in the pass 1, that is global external symbol table, which contains all the external symbols and its corresponding absolute address value, that is the real core address or memory address value. Apart from that, we will be using a local external symbol array, that is LESA, okay, in the pass 2. That means when I explained you about the program John in the previous video, we have seen that there were two address constants, and the name of those address constants symbols were pointer and asm. Okay, whenever a segment contains address constants in the RLD card of the corresponding segment, we will be specifying how we should change the address constant value at the time of the relocation. It will be adding or subtracting with the another symbol value. But in the RLD card, we will not mention the other symbol's name. We will be specifying the ID of that symbol which is mentioned in the ESD card. So in order to match this ID and the corresponding symbol's absolute address value, we are using a local external symbol array, that is LESA. So this is an array. It is containing IDs of the symbols which we have used in the ESD card, and what is the absolute address of these symbols that will be stored in the ID location of this array. So LESA is used to establish a correspondence between the ESD ID numbers used on ESD and RLD cards and the corresponding external symbols absolute address value. Okay. Now we are moving on to formats of databases. Okay, so again you can see here it requires two passes. Input to the pass 1 is object_dex, and it requires two more inputs, that is initial program load address. It tells what is the loading address for the first segment. Okay, then it will tell program load address. It will be using another input, that is program load address counter, to keep track of all the segments assigned location. Then it will be outputting a global external symbol table. Outputting in the sense it will be storing all the external symbols used in the segment along with its absolute address value in a database, that is global external symbol table. Then whenever we encounter each external symbol and its absolute address value, it will be printed using as a part of the load map. So printed load map will print the symbols, external symbols, and its corresponding absolute address value. So in the pass 1, it has assigned locations for each segment, and it is stored external symbols and its corresponding absolute address value in the global external symbol table database. Then in the pass 2, again we give the input as the copy of object_dex, and it will be using the global external table as the input. Then it requires initial program address and program load address counter. Okay, then apart from that, it will be using an array, that is the local external symbol array. It will be containing the IDs of the it is an array, and the index values will be IDs of the external symbols what you have mentioned in the ESD card, and the corresponding symbols absolute address value will be stored in the array, local external symbol array. Then the loader, in the pass 2 of the loader, it will load each segment to the assigned location in the core memory. Then if it contains any address constants, it will perform the modification value of that address constants for the relocation and linking. Pass 1 assigns the locations for segment, and whatever external symbols are there in the segments, it will be stored into the global external symbol table along with its absolute address value. And pass 2, it will be loaded the program into the assigned locations and perform the relocation. Now we are going to see this format of each databases. So the first input we require here is objective. Objective contains 4 cards: ESD card, TXT card, RLD card and ND card. So we'll see the format of each card one by one. We have already seen, but again I want to repeat the same. So first, that is external symbol dictionary card. It is the card, it contains all the external symbols used in the corresponding procedure segment or program. Okay, then it will be containing 5 columns, that is source card reference number. Actually it will not be punched on the card. For the reference purpose we are using this. It is same as our serial number. So source card reference number. Then name of the symbol, name of the external symbol used in the program. It can be either declared as entry or extern, or it can be the name of the program also. Okay, then we have the type of the symbol. Whatever symbol we are mentioning here, what is the type of that symbol? ESD card supports 3 types of symbols, that is SD. SD means symbol definition. Example is John. In the previous video I have taken one program. The program name was John. Okay, so example for the SD type symbol is John, because it is defining the segment. It is the name of the segment, so it is a segment definition. So that John symbol will belong to the type SD. Then next type is LD. LD means what? Local definition. That means the symbol which has declared with the pseudo opcode entry, which means the definition of that symbol can be found in the present program, but the symbol is going to be referenced by other programs. That's why the type of that symbol has written as LD. Example for LD type symbol in the John program is result. Then next type is ER, that is external reference type symbol, which means what? The symbol which is declared with the pseudo opcode extern, which means what? The symbol's definition will not be found in the present program. It will be in some other program, but the program is going to be referenced or used by the present program. Those kind of symbols type will be ER. Then the corresponding hexadecimal value for representing these types are 01 for SD, 02 for LD, 03 for ER. Then ID. ID is using to identify the symbols in the ESD card. So we will be assigning an ID to each symbol in the ESD card. Relative address is the relative address of the symbols mentioned in the ESD card. Then length is the length of the symbol. Okay. Now the next card is the text card. Text card means what? It is containing our translated source program, that is the object program. So it will be containing 3 columns, that is the source card reference number. Then it will be taking each relative address and what is the content in each relative address, it will be mentioned. So text card is containing our real object program. So the relative address and what is the object program in each relative address will be given in the content column. And actually we are having one more column, that is the comment column. It is optional. That is the text card. It contains the translated source program, that is the object program. So its object program's relative address and its corresponding content will be there in the text card. Then RLD card. RLD card means what? It is relocation and linkage directory card. So what is the purpose of RLD card? It will be containing the location of the each address constants in the segment. If our program segment or procedure segment is containing any address constants like a pointer and ASM symbol in the John program, the address of those address constants will be specifying relative address column, will be specifying in the relative address column. So I'll start with the relative address column. Relative address column tells what is the location of the address constant in your program, object program. Then length column will tell what is the length of that particular address constant. Then when we are modifying the value of the address constant at the time of the relocation, by which symbol we are changing the address constant value, that symbol ID, not symbol name, the ID of that symbol which is mentioned in the ESD card, will be specifying in the ESD ID column. Again I am telling, relative address tells the location of the address constant. Okay, so how we are modifying the address constant value at the time of relocation? It will be changing by using the value of another symbol. And what is the ID of that symbol? It will be mentioning in the ESD ID column. Okay, then what operation we are performing on the address constant value to get the new value, whether it is addition or subtraction. If it is addition, flag column will be containing plus. If it is subtraction, it will be containing minus. Okay, then source card reference number. So RLD card will be containing the location and length of each address constant that needs to be changed for relocation or linking, and the external symbol ID by which the address constant should be modified, that is whether it is adding or subtracting. Then the operation to be performed, whether it is addition or subtraction, will be mentioned in the flag column. That is about the RLD card. Now we are moving on to the global external symbol table database. So it is used to store each external symbol and its corresponding core address. Each external symbol and its corresponding core address. So it will be containing two columns. The first column gives the name of the external symbol, and we reserve 8 character space for that. Okay, then the second column gives the absolute address, that means the real address where we can see the definition for this symbol. So 104 is the absolute address for the symbol PG1, and since we are reserving 8 character space, we are giving random values BBBB here. Okay, so just is containing the external symbols and its corresponding absolute address value in each segment. Okay, so the first column is giving the external symbol name, and we are reserving 8 characters space for that. So each character is of 1 byte. So total we are reserving 8 bytes for symbol, external symbol name. And the second column is for storing the absolute address value of the corresponding external symbol, and it is a 4 byte, and we are reserving 4 bytes for the absolute address. Okay, so for whenever we are passing through each segment, it will check for the external symbol that is defined by SD or LD in the ESD card. Then those symbols will be stored into the global external symbol table. At the same time, it will assign the absolute core address value for those external symbols, and the value of that absolute address will be also stored in the external symbol table, that is JEST. Now we are moving on to the last database using in our direct linking loader design, that is local external symbol array. Okay, so local external symbol array means what? In pass 2 of the loader, the JEST and ESD information for each individual object is merged to produce the lessor that directly relates the ID number and value. Okay, so we'll see here, when I explained you about the RLD card, it is containing the ID of the symbol. It is not containing the name of the simple by which we are changing the address constant value. So in order to match the ID number with the corresponding simple's address, absolute address value, we are using the what, external, local external simple array. So it is an array, it is containing the IDs of the external simples mentioned in the ESD card, that is the index value of the array, IDs of the symbols, external symbols, and the array value of each index will be the absolute address value of each symbol, absolute address value of each symbol. Okay, so each entry will be of length 4 bytes, and each entry will tell what is the absolute address of the corresponding symbol. If suppose 104 is the absolute address of the external symbol whose ID is 1, 124 is the absolute address of the external symbol whose ID is 2, like that. So external symbol array is using to give the correspondence between the ID and its corresponding absolute address value. Okay, it will be creating in the pass2, and pass2 will check the absolute address of each symbol, and it will be loaded the corresponding symbols or the segments into the corresponding memory address. That's all about the next two stages of the direct linking loader, that is specification of databases and formats of databases. Thank you for watching.